Hello and welcome to the Car and Bike Show. I'm Gul Panag.
And I'm Karun Chandok, and we're here at the Buddh International Circuit for the NDTV Car and Bike Awards, something which you're a regular at, but I'm here for the first time.
It's going to be a lot of fun. You've been on the track before numerous times in numerous kinds of machines, and of course we are going to be driving all these cars here and also riding some bikes, and it's going to be an activity-packed, fun-filled, hard work encompassing day. So we're all really looking forward to it.
I think my first challenge is to walk up and down and learn the names of all these cars, because I'm looking quite stupid at the moment standing next to you. But
well, I'm looking stupid standing next to you because you're probably the fastest person who ever drives I have stood next to. So should we take a humble look at the cars?
Let's go have a look.
NDTV Car and Bike Awards.
For 9 years, the NDTV Car and Bike Awards have stood out as credible, fair and trend-setting. This year, the story will be no different, and our powerhouse CNB Awards jury has also grown in experience and diversity. And among the new faces on the jury this year is renowned international motor journalist Jens Meiners, who also serves as director on the steering committee of the World Car Awards. Jens's global perspective and knowledge will be a big bonus to the jury this year. And if you're looking for real driving experience on the jury, look no further than India's youngest Formula One driver, Karun Chandok. First time on the CNB Award jury this year, Karun's experience and his technical know-how will be invaluable to the jury. Also a first-timer on the jury is Dhruv Behel. Founder and managing editor of AutoX, Dhruv has been passionately following the automotive space for many years now and will bring his own perspective to the jury this year. Kushan Mitra tracks the financial or business side of the industry and also tests new products in his role as managing editor, digital and new projects of the Pioneer. He too joins the jury for the first time. Former editor of Zig Wheels and one of India's most experienced motoring journalists, Adil Jal Darukhanawala, is on the jury this year. His knowledge and experience, especially in two-wheelers, will, as always, be very crucial. He's with us for the second year. Back on the jury is the internationally acclaimed automobile designer Dilip Chhabria. DC's rich understanding of the auto industry and products is of immense value. One of India's brightest young racers, Aditya Patel, also returns to the jury this year. Aditya's motorsport experience, coupled with his technical knowledge, will sure add more insight. Actor, auto enthusiast and biker, Gul Panag is now a regular juror with CNB for 5 years. She has also become a familiar face in the motoring world. Former rallyist and automobile enthusiast Kamlesh Patel is also back for jury duty this year, his third time. Being part of the automotive business, he provides key insights into what Indian automobile buyers want from their cars or bikes. And our jury statesman is Dr. V. Sumantran, currently the non-executive vice chairman at Ashok Leland. Dr. Sumantran has been with us since year one of the awards and enjoys jury duty as much as we love having him on board. And finally, the NDTV Network's auto editor, Siddharth Vinayak Patankar, is spearheading it all, as always, as the head of the jury. A perfect winter's day lies ahead at the Buddh International Circuit in Greater Noida, which is playing host to the Jury Meet for the third straight year. The cars and bikes are busy getting ready before the jurors get behind the wheel. A short briefing to the jury by Siddharth sets the tone for the day, which is going to be serious jury work, but also lots of fun as always. So let's get straight in and bring you some of the nominees and start right at the bottom of the car market with the highly competitive entry hatchback of the year category. The three nominees this year are the Hyundai Grand i10, the Maruti Suzuki Stingray and the Mahindra E2O. With the Grand i10, Hyundai has virtually created a new segment between the popular i10 and i20 and is already basking in the strong demand. Thanks largely to the new fuel-efficient CRDI diesel engine, Hyundai has managed to sell 33,000 units of the Grand within 90 days of its launch. With the fluidic design and spacious interiors, the Grand i10 will be a strong contender not just in this segment, but also for Car of the Year and Viewers' Choice Car of the Year. But India's leading automaker Maruti Suzuki isn't about to let Hyundai have it so easy. It had launched the WagonR Stingray a short while back, remember? With the tall boy design accentuated by some changes in the grille and headlamps, the Stingray isn't exactly a showstopper, but the 1-litre K10 engine with a maximum power of 67 bhp does deliver pretty good ARAI certified fuel efficiency of over 20 km per litre. The car, however, lacks a diesel variant. The third nominee in this segment is the first product to roll out since Mahindra acquired Reva. The vehicle might not have the sales charts on fire, but it's certainly got our jurors excited to see it perform on the BIC track. One of the big bang launches of 2013 was clearly in the subcompact sedan category, with the Honda Amaze leading the way. Dominated by the Maruti Dzire so far, the Honda Amaze has stamped its presence, especially with the new 1.5-litre ID Tech diesel engine. And unlike the regular hatch to sedan editions, the Amaze design does try hard to lose its brio hatch looks and succeeds. Also entering into the sub-4-meter sedan segment is Mahindra's Verito Vibe, powered by the 1.5-litre DCI engine. Mahindra has looked to give the Vibe a distinct look from the Verito sedan, especially from the rear, and the interiors are spacious, although very similar to the sedan. The third car nominated in this segment is the Chevrolet Sail in both petrol and diesel variants. The Sail sedan does have obvious design cues both on the outside and inside from the Yuva hatchback, and even drives quite similar. The sub-4-meter segment in the Indian car market is clearly getting crowded, with the Maruti Dzire now having some worthy competitors.
So you've got new faces on the jury this year. It's good to see that the jury has grown, but it's not just in numbers, it's also in terms of experience and also what each of them brings to the table. I've got a few of them here with me right now. We're taking a bit of a break from the driving, guys. So thank you for stopping and talking to me for a second. I want to talk a little bit about the entry space because Jens, perhaps this isn't something you would be familiar with, but this is the end of the market that's really relevant to us here in India. The more mass cars. Dhruv, I'll start with you. What's the significant thing that's happened in that space for you?
Well, the i10 Grand is the obvious one that comes to mind, and Hyundai's pulled off a bit of a masterstroke with that car because they've taken the i10 Grand or the new i10 and extended the wheelbase. So they've taken cognizance of the fact that a lot of people in India use the back seat even in a small car, and it's pretty sweet. I mean, they've got a pretty good package with the i10 in terms of equipment, in terms of the way it looks, in terms of the way it drives, and of course now the space inside.
So, you know, China does long wheelbase 3 Series, we do long wheelbase small hatches. This is something new for us. But yeah, you know, our car here is then bigger than the one you get in Europe. What's your impression of this? Because there's certainly a lot of variety as well that you're seeing, right?
Well, low cost is a global topic, but it's especially important in India. And it's interesting how these cars are brought up to a much higher level than ever before. So when you look at clever decontenting and still maintaining a proper appearance, I think the Nissan Terrano is quite impressive, an improvement over the Renault Duster. I like the fact the Ford EcoSport has a 3-cylinder engine, and that's a trend we're going to see globally. Everywhere we're going to see it in premium cars, and it performs impressively. And it's very interesting to see India becoming a market where people care about cars and people start to love cars. Formula One is important. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that is something we are very happy about. Kushan, finally you had a car coming in that could seriously take the fight to the Maruti Citadel on the Swift Desire, the car behind you, the Amaze. How significant do you think that car has turned out to be?
Very significant. I mean, I see a lot of these on the road right now. I don't think it's really cracked the Swift Desire Citadel. It's actually hurt all the other players in the market, as you know, like the Sail and all of that. But this is a very good car. In fact, I'm really looking forward to what Honda will be doing next year as well, because the new City is going to go on sale. So this will definitely, so I think Honda will become, with the new factory also starting, will become one of the biggest players in the Indian market. I won't be surprised if they give Hyundai a run for their money.
More innovation and more volumes coming from Honda. Yeah. All right, so one key takeaway for you from this entire process, since you're joining it for the first time, let me get that from you. I know you're not through it yet, but first impressions.
I mean, it's great to drive all these cars in one play, sort of at one go. We've driven them over the course of the year, but it's nice to drive them all at the same time. And I know we're driving it on a racetrack and they're not going to be driven on a racetrack for the most part. So you keep that in mind when you're testing the cars, but it's nice to be in a controlled environment and try them all.
Kushan?
Oh, I love it that we're all driving all these cars in one day. You get to compare them. Usually at any given point in time, any of us, either you or Dhruv, we won't have more than 2 or 3 cars at one time. And it is difficult to manage. Over here, you're doing a few laps. Even if you aren't going very fast, you're having a good time.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about the speed.
Yeah,
Jens, your impression of this process, I mean, you're new to India, I know, but also new to something like this from an Indian perspective.
Yeah, definitely the ability to drive some cars that are new to me, to cars that are very relevant though on many global markets, is a highlight of the year for me. And another thing that struck me is how relatively weak the VW group is in India, and it'll be very interesting to see how they will tackle that challenge.
Well, they've been trying to for some time now. We're still waiting to see how they're going to tackle it as well.
They can do it, but they haven't so far.
And your impressions about the process? I mean, I've spoken to you about it before, but now you're getting to see it.
Extremely professional, just a perfectly organized event. Love being here.
Good to have you here with us. Thank you guys. Thanks all of you for being
Thank
here.
you. Thank you for having us.
Hope you guys have enjoyed what you've seen so far on the Car and Bike Show. We're here at the Buddh International Circuit. Just after the break, we're going out to play in some supercars.
It doesn't matter how far you've got. What matters is how close you are to winning the Volvo XC Adventure.
Do you want to OD on adrenaline? Your first love may be an SUV, but will you be the last one left driving it?
Tell us why you should be on this crazy ride. Upload your videos to ndtv.com/adventure. 12 lucky winners get this monster to go head-to-head in a freewheeling, no-holds-barred treasure hunt.
Because somewhere in an Indian forest is an all-expenses-paid holiday to Sweden. Volvo XC Adventure, coming soon on NDTV.
It is time for India's most credible and most awaited automobile honours. And you have the chance of driving away in the winning car and bike.
Vote for the CNB Viewers' Choice Two-Wheeler of the Year. 1. Bajaj Discover 100M. 2. Honda Dream Neo. 3. Honda CB Trigger. 4. Honda Activa I. 5. Mahindra Centuro. 6. TVS Jupiter.
Log on to ndtv.com/CNB. Type CNB, the number corresponding to your choice, along with the name and city, and SMS it to 56388. Win big with CNB, India's most watched auto show.
Vote now and win big with CNB.
Welcome back to the Car and Bike Show Jury Meet special. A lot of cars have been driven and now it's time to ride some bikes. As you can see, I have my safety gear on, the helmet is lying there, and I'm going to go check out the load of bikes we have.
start with the highest selling segment in the Indian motorcycle market, the bikes up to 110cc. And the nominees this year are Bajaj Discover 100M, the Honda Dream Neo, Mahindra Centuro and the Mahindra Pantero. Bajaj has a large presence in this segment, and yet another Discover in its portfolio is a clear indication that the company still wants to target the daily commuter. And Honda has tried to build its dream portfolio with the Dream Neo. Very similar styling to the Dream Yuga, the Neo boasts a refined 110cc engine and offers good ride and handling. Mahindra is back this year with some serious competition, with both the Centuro and the Pantero positively surprising the jurors. 2013 is also the year which saw the massive volumes resurgence of the humble scooter, with the Honda Activa matching the volumes that you usually see in the entry bike market. The new Activa I brought in styling changes, a plastic body and some new features. The Activa I also offers a quick and nimble ride with its 109cc 4-stroke engine. TVS too has looked to build on the success of its Vigo and launched the Jupiter. This one is targeted at male buyers, you'll remember, and it does give Honda some serious competition. With more of a subtle looking design and some new features, the jurors are impressed with the Jupiter's ride and handling too. It's now time to push the pedal just a bit more once again, actually quite a bit more. We now bring you the nominees for Sports Car of the Year, the gorgeous Jaguar F-Type and the attractive Porsche Cayman S. With 488 bhp of power on offer, the BIC track is just perfect to test the F-Type's roaring V8 engine. So while the Jag is mean and growled around the track, the more polished Porsche Cayman is no lame bystander. And the Cayman sure does live up to its expectations on the track, because it's not just quick, but also precise in its ride and handling especially. With lots of trademark Porsche designs in sync on this car, this beauty didn't have to try too hard to impress our jurors, with Siddharth spending loads of time with it. The Audi R8 V10 Plus is the contender for Supercar of the Year.
So here with Dilip Chabria and Aditya Patel, we've just been playing in these supercars, guys. What do you think? This one's a bit wild, isn't it? The F-Type?
Yeah, it drives very well. It's got a lot of grunt, and I think it's incredibly refined for its category. I'm not too sure about the proportions though. I think the front end from my perspective, from a styling perspective, it tends to be a little weak.
And what do you think?
From a driver's perspective, you and I both know it's got all the grunt in the world.
Yeah.
When you go into a corner and you turn the wheel, it's just...
You could do with a bit more control, couldn't you? There's a lot of torque, especially out of the corner, I thought. And what about that one, the Cayman S? I mean, it seems very sedate for me. I feel it could do with a lot more power. It feels like the chassis could do with another 100 horsepower or something.
And I also wish the front would turn. I mean, sometimes you get into a corner, you think you're in, you're done. And then mid-corner onwards, you start to go wide.
Yeah.
It's odd for a Porsche to understeer like that.
And Dilip, classic Porsche sort of design,
yeah,
isn't
I mean, my call to fame would be on judging how cars look primarily. I think the Porsches have been my all-time favorites for decades now.
Yeah.
I think they've really evolved the mark, very in a nice manner without dumping their
and
history
also
and legacy.
incorporated different, by doing the Cayenne and things like that as well, haven't they?
But I think the point is that the Cayman, for its price segment, I think it seems to be quite worth it. I mean, at the end of the day, you get German engineering.
Yes. Should we take a little walk down? Let's see what we've got further down there. We also got the Audi R8 V10 Plus. Now, I'm not going to ask Aditya about it because it's part of his job to sell these cars.
Okay.
But what about yourself? I mean, it's quite an aggressive looking car, isn't it? There's lots of bits and pieces that they've tried to add on to make it look a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, it is squat, wide, and all that as a supercar ought to be. But somewhere I think it shows up its lineage of common platform that it shares with his brethren. I particularly don't like the midriff panel from a stylist perspective. But obviously, it's done well. I mean, it's done great for the brand cachet of Audi worldwide.
Excellent.
It is time for India's most credible and most awaited automobile honours. And you have the chance of driving away in the winning car and bike.
Vote for the CNB Viewers' Choice Car of the Year. 7. Ashok Leyland Style. 8. Ford EcoSport. 9. Honda Amaze. 10. Hyundai Grand i10. 11. Nissan Terrano. 12. Skoda Octavia.
Log on to ndtv.com/CNB. Type CNB, the number corresponding to your choice, along with the name and city, and SMS it to 56388. Win big with CNB, India's most watched auto show.
Vote now and win big with CNB.
So we've had an exciting day so far, driven lots of interesting cars on this wonderful track on a really glorious day, but we have a lot more coming up.
That's right, plenty more to take you through. Unfortunately, we are out of time on this week's show, but that means we will be back next week with part 2 of our Jury Meet special right here, and it's going to be just as much fun, Gul.
Absolutely.
All right, so until next week then, please stay tuned to NDTV, lots more coming up. And in the meanwhile, promise me you will wear your seatbelts or your helmets if you're on a two-wheeler.
And I'll see you next week.